Number 78, 6'2", 230-pound senior Mark Strand. At the tackles, number 68, 6'1", 240-pound junior John Derby. And number 63, 6'6", 265-pound senior Brandon Guthrie. At tight end, number 81, 6'3", 190-pound senior Matt Schulenberg. And the split end, number 88, 6'2", 180-pound junior Nathan Hamilton. At running back, number 33, 5'10", 175-pound junior Dan Radke. And number 62, number 43, 6'2", 210-pound senior John Sandstrom. At fullback, number 28, 6 foot, 190-pound senior Eric Fleury. And the quarterback, number 19, 5'10", 150-pound junior Jason Bellows. Head coach of the Gresham Gophers, Mr. Gary Stouts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand?
We're back here at Gresham High School, the introduction of the players, and we're getting ready for the national anthem now, so let's enjoy the Gresham High School band and our national anthem.
Pretty spirited Gresham crew there, just about getting set to go. Came out loose tonight, as opposed to the methodical way of the Central Catholic Rams. Let's see if that has anything to do with the emotion tonight here.
Well, I think having a home game like this is really a big thing for Gresham right now. I know that with their players and everything, they certainly don't want to disappoint their hometown fans, but I think that, Central has a tremendous group of people here, and they're starting to fill in, and I'm sure by the time the game gets going, it's going to be a packed house. Two of the best teams in the state without question, two of the best running backs. But, Eric, I really think that it's a secondary people, that is the people that aren't in the limelight, that are really going to make the difference tonight. The running backs, of course, we have John Sandstrom from Gresham. We have Matt Jones from Central Catholic, two of the premier players in the state. But I think if you go down the list and you take a look at Gresham, it's going to be their contributing running backs, the guys that can take the pressure off of Sandstrom, the John Loftons, the Eric Fleury, and those type of people, Dan Radke. Those are the people that are going to have to come out and do well. And of course, Jason Fellows at quarterback. They have a couple people that they can rotate in at quarterback. So those are the people for Gresham that are really going to be important, as well as Hamilton as a wide receiver and Schulenberg at the tight end. For Central Catholic, on the other hand, the guy that's going to have to take the pressure off is Brian Jackson, the other running back, and their quarterback, Mike Olson.
Nathan Hamilton ready to kick off. And back deep for Central Catholic is Matt Jones and Scott Gilsdorf. Just getting set to get underway here. It's a short kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. at about the 40-yard line.
I think probably what you saw there is something that we may see all night long as long as Gresham is kicking off, and that is they're going to try to kick that ball away from Matt Jones, who's the league's leading kickoff returner, and he has broken one for 74 yards earlier this year, and he has a couple pretty long runs on kickoff returns. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Hamilton try to keep that ball away from him and probably kick to if he can. But if not, he's going to try to kick it short and make one of the other people handle it.
All right, we'll do it again here. Hamilton will tee it up again. And we'll try for a second time to get this game underway. And there you see Nathan teeing it up.
Jones averages 33 yards, Eric, on kickoff return, so obviously they're going to try to put the ball someplace other than in his hand.
Once again, Jones and Gilsdorf are back deep. And this time it's on the ground. It's going to take a few bounces. Picked up short yardage across the 48-yard line to the 49, and the ball will be down there. And the Rams will take over 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line.
Really a nice job that time by number 82 from Central Catholic to Jeff Nitzig to get that ball and return upfield. Actually, I'm sure Central Catholic would be quite happy if Jones doesn't handle the ball, if they can start out on their own 49-yard line each time.
All right, the Rams are getting set to go. That's Mike Olson, number 7, the quarterback. Hands it off to Jones, who goes around the end and gets tackled at about the 49-yard line, so maybe getting a yard there at the most.
Interesting set that Central came out with that time, and they came out an unbalanced line right, and they did not shift out of it. They even had their wingback over there, so they had a bunch of folks over on that side of the line, but Gresham did a good job. They countered with just as many people defensively and were able to stop the sweep. We'll see a lot of variation in the type of running that Jones will do. The one thing that he does is he runs inside, outside. He'll run any place, and he'll run effectively wherever he handles the ball.
And the Rams are getting set to go. 1st down and 9. And it's pitched to Jones across the 50, down to the 48, 47-yard line.
Well, I think that we can see without question that the defense is really keying on Jones, and they're not going to let him break one if at all possible. And as the night wears on, Jones just seems to get stronger and stronger, and eventually defenses seem to relax a little, although I think they'll find a little bit different approach with Gresham. They have an extremely strong defense, and they work hard the entire game. Here we see a lot of action to the right, trying to fake to the right with Jackson and then bringing Jones back on a quick pitch to the left-hand side.
Brian Jackson also back, junior running back, 155 pounds. And it's a fumble, and Jones will fall on it. And it looks like Gresham recovered. I think Jones kind of fell asleep on that one. I don't think he expected that at all.
Not at all, Eric. I think you're absolutely right there. It was a situation where the ball just kind of popped out. They gave it to Jackson, number 42. Marty Wynn is the one that came up with the ball and just out wrestled Jones for the ball and did a good job.
Jones kind of hesitated there, and it was too late by the time he recovered. So now Gresham has the ball. And the Gophers take over from the 49-yard line. Jason Fellows at quarterback. And his first handoff there goes to Eric Fleury, and he doesn't get anywhere.
Well, again, we see the same type of approach from Central. They're going to come out and they're going to definitely key on Sandstrom and try to make sure that he doesn't break the big one. And Gresham, rather than going as Central Catholic went to their main man, Gresham is now going to some of their other people, seeing what Central's going to do to cover them.
He's 2nd down and 10. And this time it's to Sandstrom, who gets back to the line of scrimmage and is spun down. Nice play on the defense there.
Well, it's really interesting. Both of these teams, by practicing against an outstanding back all week long, really have pretty good preparation for this game. And they've both looked towards this game without question. This is a big one for them, both being undefeated. This right now could really make a big difference in terms of the final league champion. These two teams both playing extremely well throughout the year.
It was a loss of down, so it's 3rd down and 11. And Fellows looking to throw this time, gets one across the middle, and it's knocked away by the Rams.
That was number 17, Steve Hunt, the linebacker, that was in and knocked that one down. Good job. They're trying to go inside to Schulenberg that time, trying to dump the pass off, and they weren't able to do that. But I think we'll see that fairly often. They're going to try to do something to loosen up the linebackers, because right now both teams are playing almost 8-man lines up front trying to stop the running game.
Eric Nielsen back to punt for Gresham. And it's kind of a bad snap, but he gets it away. And it's going to roll down to about the 22-yard line, and Gresham will down it. And the Rams will take over first down and 10 from the 22.
Well, both teams with such high-powered offense, really, we've seen so far the key thing that I feel tonight is going to happen, and that's the team that can play the defense is the one that's going to come out on top, because both teams can score at any time. It's just a matter of if the defense can hold it and how long they can hold it.
We're going to take a look at the kick there again. There you see Gresham coming in contact with it on the 22. Back to live action. And it's over to, that time it's to Jackson, looks like, and he gets stopped.
I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of Brian Jackson tonight. He's been a very effective runner for him. He's got 256 yards. He's one of the top 10 rushers in the league, which is really kind of phenomenal when you consider that Jones is leading the league in rushing and averaging almost 11 yards a carry. So Gresham has really done a good job so far in containing him. But Brian Jackson is an excellent runner in his own right, and probably the heir to Matt Jones' spot next year.
Cleto Tumbagan, the wide receiver, and it's to Jones. Gets across the 22 to the 23. There's a late flag on the play, and we'll see what it is here. Jones got back to about the line of scrimmage. Actually, it might have been a yard loss.
Looks like a face mask call on Gresham.
Oh, big penalty there.
It really is, because that breaks Central kind of out of their doldrums and gives them a little bit of movement.
So the referees will march it back. We're going to get a chance to see a replay on that.
You look on the interior, and just as Jones cuts up, there's a whole mob of folks in there, and it looks like somebody grabbed on the face mask. Of course, that's a 15-yard penalty, and they were able to get a first down out of it this time. So the first down of the ball game is by Central, and it's on a penalty. So not real potent offensive show so far.
First and 10. Rams on the 37-yard line. And now there's an equipment problem there. Is that Jones? Looks like they're working on his helmet. No, that's
Jones. He's got the referee helping him out there, trying to get the helmet snapped up, because in high school rules they do have to have their helmets snapped in order.
Now they're going to re-huddle and start the clock. So the Rams want to go back into the huddle, and now the referee will just start the clock. So it's counting down. And it's a fake, well, to the backfield to Jones, and quarterback will keep it. It's Olsen, and he gets a few yards on that play.
Boy, that was just a great effort by Mike Olsen that time, because that ball was definitely intended for Jones, and he slipped on his cut when he made the cut, because they were lined up unbalanced left. They had everybody and their brother over here on the left side. They're going to run a sweep this way, and he simply slipped. Jones did on the just before the handoff. So Olsen did a great job. Check out this replay now. You see the Jones slips, and Olsen avoids the tackle and gets downfield and picks up about 7 yards on the play. So an excellent athletic effort.
7 yards on the busted play. It's second down and 3. And now the offensive line jumps off sides, and flags go flying everywhere.
It'll be interesting how they call this. There's movement both ways. Looked like it was offside on the defense first, and because you have to remember now, as long as that tight end or one of the eligible receivers moves, he can move on the line as long as it's not intentional to draw the defense offside. He can move as long as he doesn't break the plane. Whereas the defense, either team, once they break the plane, it's offside. So Gresham obviously broke the plane first, so it's offsides against Gresham, and it's another first down on a penalty. So 2 first downs for Central, and both on penalties.
First and 10 from the 48. Clock at 6:26. Here we are on the first quarter of action. Hand off to Jones, he drops it, he falls on it, and he'll be met with a flurry of defenders there.
Looked like a pretty ragged handoff on that. It hit him pretty high and it bounced right out. He never really did have control of it. And Olsen stuck it in there pretty hard. Now Olsen is a guy that had an off. We're watching the replay here. How that when he comes out of there.
Watch how hard this bounces. Whoops.
Yeah, he stuck it in there pretty hard, and Jones never did get a handle on it. So they were lucky to recover that one.
2nd down and 15. Olsen in the quarterback. Hand off to Jones. Gets across the 40 to the 45, down to the 50, and he's dragged out of bounds. 53-yard line. Jones doing a nice bit of running there. Just keeps those legs pumping and gets the extra yardage.
Yeah, he did get out. He's got great quickness. That's the thing that's so impressive about him now. Watch him, he'll dip his shoulder a little bit on the inside and then go on out. And almost a late hit there, but a good job by Jones to get upfield, and the Gresham then covered up. But he made about 10 yards on that play, so close to his average.
Ball on the Gresham side of the field on the 47-yard line. 3rd down and 6. And Olsen rolls out, throw to Jones across the 45-yard line down to the 43. And let's see where they spot it. They'll spot it about on the 41.
Well, that was a good catch. That was good concentration. It's thrown a little bit behind Jones. A tough pass for Olsen. We watch him roll out to the right, and of course he's a left-hander, so when he rolls out to the right like this, he's got to throw across his body. He does a nice job, and Jones has to go back, catch the ball behind him, and then he gets his balance enough to push forward, so he picks up a 1st down. So really a nice job by both Olsen and Jones that time.
1st and 10 now from the 41. And the Rams are driving. And flags are thrown. Heard the whistle just as the play started. Let's see what it is.
Looks like it might be delay of game or illegal procedure on Central. That's a tough one, because that again puts them in a hole. Another 5 yards. And as you mentioned before the game, Eric, the one thing that they have to avoid, either team, is their mistakes. A team that can limit their mistakes, I think tonight will really have a great advantage, because the other teams, or both teams, are going to play well. They're both good teams, and regardless of what it looks like, both teams are going to play well. They're very talented teams, and it's the one that can eliminate the mistakes that's going to have a real advantage.
Mark Fuller in motion for the Rams. 1st down and 15. This time it goes to number
20. That was Jackson.
20.
Again.
Jackson again, yeah.
Well, he's a tough little guy, too. I'll tell you, he gets in there. He's not afraid to stick his nose in and go face up with people. As we see the rain starting to come down a little bit more now. And as the night wears on, this may, of course, we've seen Matt Jones already slip a little bit on the turf, but the turf is really in excellent condition. So the weather really shouldn't have that big of an effect unless one of the teams is put in a position where they have to try to throw the ball a little bit more. Then it will definitely have an effect.
2nd down and 11 for the Rams. And now another flag and more whistles. Let's see what it is this time.
Looks like the defensive end lined up offside, number 42 that time. The wingback was on that side, and he was off the line of scrimmage. And oftentimes the defensive player will do that. He'll actually line up on the man across the ball from him, and if that man happens to line up a little bit differently, in this case the wingback was a yard or so off the line of scrimmage, then defensive man lines up with the same relationship. Unfortunately, he's in the neutral zone, and it becomes an offsides.
Clock running almost at the 4-minute mark now, the 1st quarter of action. No score here.
This is a type of game that will go fairly quickly, Eric, simply because both teams keep the ball on the ground, they grind it out, and the clock really keeps going, except for when they move the 1st down chains.
Ball on the Gresham 37-yard line, 2nd down and 5. Olsen rolls out, gets good protection, and he gets nailed, and he's still up, and he gets away. And now brought down by number 42 of Gresham, and on the play, that's Marty Wynn. He makes a stop.
Well, I'll tell you, Olsen was fighting for his life there, and he really did an excellent job of getting away from the first 2 tacklers. We'll take a look at the replay, and this is just great athletic ability, but Wynn just finally won't let him go, and you'll see a little bit out of the picture there, but Olsen just keeps fighting and scrapping and getting upfield a little bit. He only lost about 8 on that play, where actually he could have lost about 15.
Boy, no kidding, fighting for your life. Like hanging onto a slippery, wet fish. 3rd down and 15. See what the Rams can do here. Obvious passing down. Olsen going back in the pocket. Has lots of time to throw over the middle. And open over the middle is number 85. That's Brian White. And a nice passer. He got hit immediately by Gresham.
Nice job that time by Olsen again, dropping back. Good offensive line play. They kept him a nice pocket for him. He stayed in there, and we'll watch the offensive line do an excellent job here as far as blocking. The backs pick up. Jones picks up an on-rushing lineman, and a nice throw by Olsen, and a good catch and good concentration that time.
Well, it's going to be marked 4th down and 4, and it looks like they're going to go for it, Jim.
This will be an interesting call. See which way they want to go, whether by air or by land.
And Olsen this time rolls out, throws it out to Jones. It's that same play they ran before, and it's not enough for the first down.
Well, it will depend on the mark, and it looks like the mark is going to be pretty close. It looks like they don't have it. However, the official came up and gave a mark that it's going to be pretty close.
That's that same play they had some success with before.
Right, and they covered it pretty well. You'll see Jones get out there, come up, and that's Sandstrom, and then Schulenberg both out there that are on him immediately, and didn't allow him to turn up field that time, but it's going to be close.
I don't think they got it.
Nope, by about 2 inches. About 2 inches.
Well, Chuck went up for the defense there.
Really good job. Central came out. They ran a play that, gained 5 yards, but they just didn't get that extra 2 inches. And Gresham on the other defensively, that second effort by Schulenberg and Sandstrom, both, especially Schulenberg out there on the coverage of Jones, and that little dump pass off to the right allowed him to hold him from getting the first down.
There you see a look at the Central Catholic defense getting set to go. And there are the Gophers, 1st and 10. They're on the 30-yard line. And now another flag. And
looks like
I'm feeling it's on. Yep, it's on Gresham.
Yeah, it is.
Legal procedure.
That's Marty Winigan that went offside, or procedure penalty that time. He was also the defensive end that lined up offside, so I'm sure that he'll get that straightened out.
So it's 1st down and 15. Ball on the 25-yard line. And it's, toss to Hamilton, nowhere near the ball.
Well, you have to really credit that on number 21, Chris Catherines from Central Catholic. Blitzed in there from his linebacking position and was right on top of fellows all over him, and didn't really allow him an opportunity to get the ball out to Hamilton. Hamilton's a big target, and he's a good receiver. He's got good speed. He can get downfield. He can do a lot of things for him. It's really a matter of the offensive line giving fellows an opportunity to set up and to be able to throw the ball in his direction.
2nd down and 15. Hamilton lined up wide. Wide receiver. Fellows rolls out, looking to throw, throws across the middle and short.
Again, there was good pressure. That time it was up the middle by number 77, Charles Muir. Came up the middle. They had kind of a middle screen set up. They were going to try to dump it to Fleury there in the middle. Number 20, I think that was number 28, yeah, Eric Fleury in the middle, and try to run a middle screen on Central and take advantage of those quick on-rushing linemen. However, they were in there so quick they were unable.
There you see our score. Zeros all the way across. Minute 21 left to go. And first period action, 3rd down and 15 for Gresham. And it's thrown deep and short. And again, Jason Fellows under lots of pressure. Intended receiver is Nathan Hamilton. And the ball just didn't make it there, underthrown.
The interesting thing, Eric, is each time we call a different name. That time it was Mick Walker and looked like Greg Ledoux were in there. And each time when we talk about the pressure on Fellows, it's come from different people. So regardless of the adjustment that Gresham's able to make, there's always someone else from Central to find a gap to get at the quarterback.
So the Ram defense mixing it up pretty good. That's a high snap, but the kick will get away. And it's to about the 44-yard line. Fair catch called, and now Central Catholic will take over from the 44.
Well, that was a good job by Gilsworth that time. That was a tough, fair catch. That ball was kind of dying. When that point is still, the front point is still up in the air, it has a tendency to kind of drift away from the receiving player. And so Gilsworth did a nice job of reading the ball and looking it in, making the good catch so that there wasn't a fumble on the play.
You see a replay of the kick here. We're going to show that to you. Watch the...
Now we see Gilsdorf concentrating and making sure that he tucks that ball away.
And up the middle to Jackson again. And he gets a couple yards, gets about 3 yards on the play as the clock winds down here in the first quarter.
One thing Olson really does well, and that is he carries out his fakes extremely well. That time had a number of people on the Gresham team were all going with him as he faked the pitch to Jones going out to the right, and Jackson able to squirt up the middle for a couple yards. But that's something that we'll see all night long. Really a fine job of faking and continuing with his fakes. Mike Olson, the quarterback from Central Catholic.
Jackson again.
Jackson, who gets a couple more. Gets it out to about the 48-yard line this time.
One thing that Jackson does, he keeps coming at you, just battering away, and he's got good enough quickness and he's small enough that if the offensive linemen are able to spot him a seam and get him a little seam, he can burst away and he can pop that thing and go all the way because he has excellent quickness. I think he's a very underrated player, mainly not because of his lack of skill or anything or his lack of opportunity, but simply because he has a guy like Matt Jones in the backfield with him.
Well, time has expired here in the first quarter, and our score 0-0. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with second quarter action right after this. All right, we're back, and Jones with the ball across the 50, and he breaks one tackle, and he gets away and down to about the 35-yard line. Broke a big tackle there at about the 50-yard line.
That was Schulenberg on the tackle, a good open field tackle, and if he would have made it, Jones would have been gone all the way. But that's the thing about Matt Jones. He just keeps coming at you. He has good strength. We'll watch him here on the rollout as he goes to the left-hand side here. They simply give him the ball and lead out there, and you notice the offensive lineman.
Nielsen had him right there, and he got away.
Very impressive, the offensive line. They get out, and they're not afraid to throw a block downfield and spring Jones for that extra yard.
1st and 10 now for the Rams on the 36-yard line. And it's to Jackson, and he gets pushed back. Good play on the defense.
Very nice job that time. That was number 32 leading the way on that one. That was John Lofton, who came up from the linebacker spot. Really did a nice job that time of reading the play, not going for the fake to Jones. Read it all the way and did a good job stepping right up in there.
2nd down and 10. And the Rams getting set to go again. And Olson rolls out, and it's intercepted by Gresham. Boy, he read that perfectly. Ball was underthrown. There he is, number 25, Eric Nielsen. Big play kind of a guy.
Well, there's a flag on the play, holding against Central, which I'm sure Gresham will decline because they want that football. And nice job by Nielsen that time to read the play. And the ball was underthrown. It really wasn't a good pass by Olson that time. He had time to throw it, but he just, if you'll notice on his throw, he didn't follow through at all. It was simply a throw off of that back foot that we talked about earlier in the season, that we see quarterbacks now and then, when they try to hurry a throw, they'll throw it off the back foot, and there really isn't enough on the football.
So the Gophers get a lucky break.
Well, it was good defense that time. They put a pretty good pressure on, although Central does a nice job. They form a pocket, and Olson does a good job of staying in the pocket, but good job of their pass defense that time.
Let's see what the Gophers can do with it here. 1st down and 10. We're in the second quarter of play, no score. This time it's the 32, and that's John Lofton. And he breaks a couple of tackles and gets out to the 29-yard line. Some fancy running there.
Devin Weil now in at quarterback, and looks like just a different offensive backfield, a few different folks in there, and great job by Lofton. Of course, Lofton is a guy that would have been probably the premier running back for Gresham this year had Sandstrom not transferred over from Lake Oswego. So Lofton is no slouch. He is certainly capable of at any time busting one and putting some big yards on the board.
And this time it's handed off to Lofton again, I believe, and he doesn't get anywhere with it.
Well, the thing that we'll see out of both of these teams is even though it doesn't look like they're getting much yardage, they get in behind that offensive line, and both offensive lines are extremely well coached and well schooled. They strike a blow and they go out and they push the defensive line back. So usually they're still picking up 2 or 3 yards, even though it doesn't look like the runners are breaking anything. But the offensive lines are to be credited for both teams.
2 wide receivers now for the Gophers. And Nielsen just checked into the game. He's a wide receiver now. And Devin Weil on a keeper across the 40. He's breaking it to the 50, down to the 40 along the sidelines and gets tackled out of bounds. So Devin Weil, number 16, comes in at quarterback on a keeper and gets a big chunk of yardage, and that really fired up the Gresham Gophers here in the second quarter.
Well,
nice
we saw
play.
Cardinal sin. Excellent job by Weil to read. We check out the replay on this, and you'll see that the defensive back makes a Cardinal sin. He comes inside. Nice block by 25 there. Nielsen to seal off on the outside, but the defensive back stepped in and did not keep containment. And Weil did a great job of reading it and taking it on down the sideline.
So the Gophers with excellent field position here. Ball on the Central Catholic 37-yard line, 1st and 10. And now some discussion with the referee and quarterback. Probably talking about who's going to win the World Series. And now we're set to go. All right, it's keeper, Weil again has it. A fake pitch to Lofton, number 32, and he decided to keep it instead and go across the 35-yard line down to the 34.
Nice job that time by Matt Jones, the defensive end, who of course we hear about a little bit on offense, but he did a nice job of taking the quarterback on, playing the pitch man, and waiting until Weil made his commitment. And when he made his commitment, Jones claps down and was able to make the tackle.
2nd down and 6. Ball on the 34-yard line. And goes to Sandstrom, I believe. He doesn't get much on that. In fact, he might have lost a yard on that.
They didn't get the blocking that they wanted out of that. They were supposed to get a little bit of a trap action there, and they really didn't get anything. And Sandstrom found about 3 white shirts waiting for him when he went to break through the line. Nice job by Central that time. The defense to read and then to fill the hole very quickly.
Loss of a yard on the play, 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 35-yard line. Again, 2 wide receivers for the Gophers, and Weil rolls out, has time to throw, and throws it by a sliding receiver, and that's Matt Schulenberg.
Well, not a well-thrown pass. Schulenberg really had the position that he wanted. He had the 1st down yardage and did the right things in terms of running his route, but Weil not able to deliver the ball that time, threw it behind him, and Schulenberg unable to come up with a catch. Here again, we see a situation where it's 4th down, although a little bit longer yardage than Central had at about the same spot on the field. And basically, I think both teams feel that they're in 4-down area when they're down here. They might as well go for it because it puts the other team still a little bit deeper in their territory.
High formation now. And it's 4th down and 7, and Gresham's going for it. Weil looking to throw, has time, throws it to Sandstrom, in and out of his hands. Oh, a tough break there. John just couldn't hang on to it.
Again, there was good pressure and on the play that time. It looked like Olson might have been the guy that was in there putting pressure on. We've got a lot of folks that are going both ways here, and we see number 7, Mike Olson, the quarterback on offense, is the guy that really came in and put the pressure on. When you set up a screen like that, you like for your lineman to block for maybe a count, sometimes 2, and then allow the lineman to come on in and then dump it over their head. But that time, Olson had a free run and put a lot of pressure on Weil.
The Ram offensive unit takes over now with 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line. Gets across the 30 and across the 35, tripped up. Nice play by Gresham there.
Well, I tell you, Gresham had that thing smelled out. They had about 4 guys ready to make the tackle, and they all ran into each other. It looked like one of the Keystone Cop movies where everybody runs into each other, and Jones able then to get out and almost almost able to turn the corner, but not quite able to get around, and was tripped up. Just there you see about 4 guys going down. We see number 33 coming up to Radke to trip him up for just about a 2-yard gain, which very easily could have been a big one.
2nd down and 8. Now 5 men on the line for the Gresham defense. This time it's to Jackson, who gets across the 36-yard line down to about the 39.
Well, they're using Jackson pretty effectively right now for the quick hitters. They're trying to pop him in the middle, and hopefully he's going to find a seam soon and be able to get one upfield a little bit. Jones is really the one that's running most of the outside stuff and trying to draw the defense with him.
There you see our score, Goose Eggs. 2nd quarter action, 7:16 left to go.
Well, we really shouldn't be too surprised at the score right now, Eric, because we've got the number 1 and number 2 ranked defense. Central Catholic number 1 ranked defense in the league, and Gresham number 2. So we should see this all night long.
3rd down and 5. Olsen to throw long, deep, almost intercepted by a diving Nielsen. Ball was thrown way over the head of his intended receiver.
Well, that was Mark Fuller, number 8, and they list him in the program as a receiver. They don't say end or anything like that. They simply say receiver. So I'm sure that he went in for one reason, and that was to put the burners on and see if he could run under this ball. Ball just thrown too far. Good job defensive coverage that time. Number 21 was on the play for Gresham. That's James Golden.
So the Rams are going to punt. A good block there thrown by Jones as pressure came into the kicker. And Nielsen has it go through his fingertips. And it looks like Central Catholic has recovered.
Boy, that's a tough break for Gresham, because that's the type of thing that could turn a ball game around. We'll have to, of course, wait and see what happens now in terms of whether Gresham's able to, or Central's able to capitalize on this or not.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the replay right now, but we can't really tell you what's going on because we don't have a picture. So that's the replay. So we're having some technical difficulties here. We'll try to work them out for you. And we got it back. So now everybody gets tied up there around the line of scrimmage.
Again, that's Jackson up the middle, and sounds kind of familiar. Jackson up the middle, Jackson up the middle, Jones around the outside. And that's basically what Central's done. And then Olsen with a few passes over the top. Now, the one thing that Central has to be aware of is they have to be aware of the emphasis that Gresham is putting on the run defense right now. So I'm sure that at some point we're going to see some type of short passes, something to try to loosen up the linebackers, forcing the linebackers into pass coverage so the running backs can get free a little bit away from the line of scrimmage.
So a turnover on the punt allows Central Catholic to get the ball back, and now they're driving. Jones breaks a tackle, now 2, breaks one more tackle. He's into the end zone easily for a touchdown.
Well, I tell you, that's just what we talk about, Eric. That was just, hey, that was a great run. That was
great
fantastic.
Run. He must have broke 3 tackles on that.
He slides through the middle. You know, he went laterally twice there to avoid tackles or to break tackles, and didn't lose any speed at all. He was able to pick his speed right back up. Just an excellent job. So Central breaks on the scoreboard first. Really a nice job. Just an excellent run by Matt Jones.
So now they have trouble with it. It's a try it on the 2-point conversion, and would you look at that, Jim? Can you believe that? I don't think they were intending to kick that at all.
Well, I'm sure they weren't, but most teams will practice a fumbled snap because there's so many things that have to go right when you are kicking an extra point, and so many things have to go right that most teams during practice will practice on a fumble, and they have a regular call that when it happens, they run that blocking back, or they run the tight end out. Here we'll get a chance to see Matt Jones on this touchdown run. Now watch his lateral movement. It's just phenomenal. He's able to go sideways, breaks a tackle, and just outruns Nielsen there. Just a fine job. And just not much you can say other than that was a super run. But back to that extra point, you know, that's really to get that score 8-0 Central Catholic over Gophers. they did a great job of recognizing the fact that there was a fumble. They ran the blocking back and the tight end out, and then the holder who fumbled the ball gets up, and it doesn't have to be a great thrower. All he has to do is just dump it about 5 yards, and that time they were able to score.
And dump it he did for 2 points. 8-0 our score. Still lots of time left. 5:41 left to go in the second quarter. And the Rams kick it off. And it's a good kick too, fielded down about the 6-yard line. And on the play, that's 21. And he breaks the tackle. Number 21, James Golden on the run back, gets down to the 45-yard line on the run. And Golden showing some speed on that and puts the Gophers in great field position here.
Well, I'll tell you, if number 32, Wilson, had come over and made the tackle, that would have been all the way down the field. But a good job that time of keeping his lane. But Gresham faked the reverse a little bit. Cuts in Central off guard a little bit. So
first down and 10. And it looks like Fellows back in the quarterback now. Hands off to Sandstrom, who slips and falls. And there'll be a loss of yardage on that.
I think that'll oftentimes happen, you know, especially with your really good backs who plant that foot so hard to make their cuts and who have the ability to make those cuts. Oftentimes when it gets a little slick, it'll take him a little while to adjust to the slippery footing, and he'll probably chop his steps and make a little bit more of a choppy cut rather than a long stride cut.
Sandstrom did gain a yard in that, so it's second down and 9. And this time, that's Eric Fleury on the run, and he gets out across the 50 to the 49. Gets about 3 yards on the play.
Well, both teams have, with a few exceptions, both teams have predominantly gone with their ground game, and I think that's probably what we'll continue to see. And we see, again, Fleury up the middle. Number 17 hanging on for dear life there was Steve Hunt, the linebacker.
Third down and 4 to Sandstrom in the backfield. He's across the 50 to the 45 and gets taken down at the 43-yard line.
Well, that's a big first down for Gresham. That gives them a little momentum. They had a great kickoff return, and now they're able to move down and get a first down, doing the things that they want to do. Now that's the typical type of Gresham football that most people are used to seeing. We see the pitch back to Sandstrom. He just follows his blocker. Really a nice job that time of blocking and following the blockers.
So first down and 10, 4:13 left to go in the second quarter. And the whistle stops play.
Looks like we got a procedure penalty again against Gresham. That's about the 4th or 5th one now. It's a little frustrating for Gresham because they are normally a very disciplined ball club, and they need to make sure and eliminate as many mistakes as possible. As you mentioned earlier, Eric, a team that doesn't make mistakes is the one that really has a big advantage when you pit two teams who are so evenly matched.
And it is against Gresham. So a 5-yard penalty makes it first down and 15.
Well, Central Catholic is leading the league both in offense and defense. They're ranked number 1 in both. So, you know, we expect some fireworks to happen, but Gresham also is ranked number 3 in offense and number 2 in defense. So it's kind of tough to see where the dam's going to break tonight.
Sandstrom with the pitch didn't make his cut exactly where he wanted it to because he was bobbling the ball, couldn't hang on to it. He caught it out with his arms outstretched in front of him and had a little trouble with it. So
we'll take a look at the replay.
He has trouble on this.
Watch Central Catholic. The thing that's so impressive about Central is they always have a bunch of folks around the ball. You don't often see just one guy making a tackle. You always see a bunch of people around the ball and in helping out on the tackle.
Second down and 15. And Fellows, lots of time to throw. Throws over the middle, and it's caught. There he is, Mr. Nathan Hamilton, 88.
Well, they said he didn't hang on to it, so they're going to call it incomplete. It would have been a great catch had he been able to, and it looked like he got his hands on it. We'll notice that the ball is thrown behind him, and Hamilton has to just make a tremendous athletic move just to get his hands on the ball. The ball is thrown behind him, and not quite able to pull it in that time.
Off his fingertips. Now it's third down and 15. And Gresham, the offensive unit, sort of struggling at this point. Fellows again, back to pass, has plenty of time, throws over the middle to Hamilton, who makes a big gainer and gets tackled at the 27-yard line.
Same play, only they ran Hamilton just a little bit deeper, and that time they also ran a back out of the backfield down the sideline and drew the defense and split the defense pretty well, and that allowed Hamilton then to slide up the middle. We'll watch it here, and we'll see Hamilton as he cuts through the middle, and then you see number 33 sliding out and going down the sideline, which drew the defensive with him. That was Dan Radke.
Good enough for the first down and 10. And let's see if Gresham can put it in here. Good field position now to Sandstrom across the 30-yard line. There's a flag on the play.
Boy, 17th. That was Steve Hunt. Steve Hunt's been in on a bunch of folks. He's probably the one guy who is keen on Sandstrom, and wherever Sandstrom goes, Hunt goes. That time we have a holding call. It's going to go against Gresham, which we'll see Hunt get across, and he gets just one hand on Sandstrom. Sandstrom's a big, strong back, and Hunt just hangs on and slides around and is able to pull him over right there.
So the ball will be moved back. And Gresham right now being their own worst enemy.
Now they've had a number of penalties. It'll be interesting to see the penalty yardage, but Gresham has done some things that normally aren't characteristic of a Gresham team.
So it's first down and 20. And now Gresham, time running out here in the second half, down to the 2:45 mark for the first half to Sandstrom, and Sandstrom gets a nice chunk of it back to about the 31-yard line.
Charles Muir, number 77, had him in the backfield, but Sandstrom, with his good, strong running, able to break loose of that tackle. Had Muir have been able to get a better handle on him, he would have been able to drop him for about a 3-yard loss. But Sandstrom, good leg drive, just kept pounding away and able to pick up about 6 yards.
Kind of like hanging on to a spinning top. Second down, 14 to go. And it's a pitch, and it's bobbled in the back. The pitch hit the deck, and Sandstrom able to recover on that.
Well, Fellows kind of bailed out on that. He came out, and rather than concentrating on making the pitch, this time you watch Fellows, watch his eyes, and he has a tendency here as he comes down the line. He's looking at the guy that's going to tackle him, who does snuff him pretty good, but in doing so, he takes his concentration off the pitch and throws a poor pitch, and Sandstrom does a good job to get on top of it and save the fumble.
Two wide receivers now lined up for Gresham. Third down and 19. Fellows back to pass. Throws it deep, has a man wide open, and no.
Boy, he had him
He had him wide open.
33 that time was Dan Radke.
Dan Radke.
Went down. The other split out on the right side, on the wide side of the field, went down and simply ran by. It looked like the defensive back thought he might be getting coverage from the safety, but that time there wasn't a rotation. The safety didn't get over there, and had the ball been thrown on target, it would have been a touchdown all the way.
So it's fourth down and 19. And let's see what they do with it here. They're going to go for it. Hamilton lined up wide on the right side. Fellows back to pass over the middle and throws it behind the back of Eric Nielsen.
Well, Fellows saw the rush coming, and there was a blitz on that time. They were bringing a bunch of folks because they were in man-to-man coverage on the outside. There were three, we see Coach Gary Stouts and his staff trying to figure out right now, trying to solve the questions of how to penetrate that Central Catholic defense. But that time Fellows read the blitz, saw it, and tried to get the ball off quickly. Unfortunately, Nielsen wasn't looking, and he had to throw the ball, and Nielsen had his back to the ball, and the ball fell aimlessly to the ground.
First down and 10 now for the Rams. On the 34-yard line. Hand off this time to Jackson, up the middle, goes nowhere. Looks like Jason Samadurov in on the stop on that play, number 35.
Well, when they bring in Peter Lineweber, the other back who carried that time, they have an opportunity now to bring in some fresh folks and try to get a few more people in here with about a minute to go, and exactly a minute as they call timeout, a minute to go here in the second quarter. So they're going to try to get a few people, get their uniforms a little bit dirty, get into the flow of the game in case they have to use them in the second half. You know, and there's different philosophies with regard to that in terms of when you want to substitute. And
Okay, we're going to take a break here with a minute left here. And second quarter action, our score, Central Catholic 8, Gresham Gophers nothing. In the second quarter, 8-0, Central Catholic on top. And the Rams with the ball.
Well, Eric, maybe we'll get a chance at halftime here as the gun runs out here with a minute to go and take a look at the league standings, and people then can see how important this game is going to be as far as a league championship.
And Olsen scrambling and has a receiver fall down on him.
Nice job of scrambling, and he had Jackson out there open, but he just couldn't get the ball to him, and it really was a poorly thrown ball actually by Olsen. So there we see the league standings, and we can look at how important this game is. The two teams are undefeated, and of course the season is nice, but really what counts is that league standing. And those 5 teams right there are the 5 teams that are probably going to be in the playoff picture throughout. The David Douglas Scots, Columbia, and Barlow are going to be fighting out for that 3 and 4 positions most likely. Gresham and Central Catholic both looking very strong in terms of playoff contenders. As we go on down the list, we'll have a chance to take a look at the other teams in a moment. But those are the top 5 teams, the teams that are going to be in the playoffs, the teams that have to be considered for playoff bursts down the road.
Third down and 10. Jones at the ball, tries to turn upfield and can't. And Gresham doing a good job in the backfield there to knock him down, and he'll lose a couple of yards on that play. Just couldn't seem to turn upfield that time. Good pressure by the Gresham defense.
Really a nice job. He avoided one tackle, but there were just too many blue shirts there. There we see the rest of the teams in the Mount Hood Conference with Centennial, Park Rose, and Reynolds, each with 1 win, and of course Sandy winless so far this season. Centennial might have an opportunity. They played 3 tough teams right off the bat, and they have not as difficult a schedule as some people, so they might have a shot at sneaking in there in that playoff spot. But those 4 teams are really going to be fighting for respect most of the year, and they're going to do battle with each other and see who can stay out of the cellar this year.
41 seconds left to go in the first half.
We want to thank again Bill Craswell from Columbia High School, who does the league statistics, and with all the information that we're able to give you throughout the evening. So thanks a lot to Bill. There we see the replay, and a good job defensively by Gresham. Just a host of people coming in there, staying with it, and Jones, no matter how shifty he is, unable to get away from everybody. Gresham called a timeout here. They're hoping to get their hands on the ball and maybe have one more crack at it with 41 seconds to go.
Well, the Rams are going to kick it away, and it's a short kick, and it's going to bounce to about the 40-yard line, and it will be down.
Matt Schulenberg playing with fire there when he starts running around there. Not sure whether he wants to pick it up. He's better off just to get the heck away from the ball and let it roll dead, because if that should take a funny bounce, which footballs do once in a while, and hit him, that'd be a tremendous break for Central. But Gresham came out unscathed on that one, so they've got 32 seconds to see what they can do.
Sandstrom not in on this series of plays. And Fellows back to throw over the middle to Hamilton. Jumps up, tipped out of his hands at about the 30-yard line or 40-yard line.
Well, I don't know whether it's just that the quarterbacks are not used to the timing or what, but it seems like every pass has been thrown behind the receivers. Maybe the receivers are just so pumped up and so much adrenaline's flowing that they're a little quicker than the quarterbacks are used to. But especially Hamilton, the Gresham quarterbacks have been behind him on almost every pass in his direction.
Second down and 10, 16 seconds left to go in the first half. And Fellows hands off up the middle to Sandstrom, who breaks a couple tackles, and he could have broken it loose there, but the Rams doing a good job in stopping him about the 47-yard line.
Well, they'll take another timeout with 8 seconds to go and probably put that ball up for grabs.
All right, 8 seconds left to go in the second half, or first half, actually. I keep saying that tonight. Our score 8-0. We'll be back right after this. Strategy. 8 seconds worth of strategy here. Right, so the Gophers should have time here to maybe do one more play. Fellows back to throw. Hamilton is the intended receiver. He slips and falls down with 4 seconds left.
Again, excellent pressure that time. Number 77 in there again for Central Catholic. That was Charles Muir, who's been in the backfield almost as much as the Gresham offensive running backs tonight. So he's really been doing a good job of penetration and getting through the line. I'm sure we'll see it thrown up for grabs. They'll probably run. There they come with a couple wideouts this way. Nielsen and Hamilton out here. And they need to give fellows better protection if they hope to complete a long one.
Let's see if they can do it here. Nope, it's just going to hand it off to Sandstrom and play it safe as time runs out here in the first half. And the Rams on top by a score of 8-0 over the Gresham Gophers. Right now we're going to take a timeout, and we've got an interview for you with the head coach of the Central Catholic Rams. His name is Dennis Binkowski, and Ray Byers talked to him before our ball game tonight.
The Central Catholic Rams. Coach, we got a big game tonight here against the Gophers. What's the plan to stop Sandstrom and those guys?
Well, we're playing good defense right now. We're first in the league. Gresham is second in the league. We're just going to play our base defense and just get after it. We have some good ball players. On the defensive side, we got some great linebackers, and we're just going to see which team is going to be able to get the most yards here.
Right. Besides Matt Jones, who should we be looking for in your attack tonight?
Oh, we basically have 3 good running backs. Matt Jones is one of our tailbacks. We still got Brian Jackson at a Z-back. We moved him to a fullback spot. We also got Peter Lineweber and Tom Creno. So we've got, a couple kids that we counter Jones with, and we still throw the ball. So, we're using all of our attack.
Very good. And anybody special that we should be looking for on defense or any kind of special defensive wrinkles you put in tonight?
No, we really don't have any stars on defense. We're kind of a team player in which, we swarm. We try to swarm on the ball. We help each other out. We have area responsibilities with our kids, and they do it very well.
Great. Well, thanks very much tonight, Coach. Good luck to you.
And see you later.
Have a good game. Let's go back to the booth now with Eric and Jim.
Once again, our score 8-0, and Central Catholic on top. Jim, we're going to take a look at the schedule for this week.
Well, I think one of the key things to look at, not only the game tonight where we have Central Catholic playing Gresham, the 2 undefeated teams, but also to look a little bit down the road. If we look at Central Catholic's schedule, they have to play David Douglas, they have them at home, but then they have 2 tough games on the road. They have to play at Columbia and at Barlow. 2 of those 5, or all of those teams are the potential playoff teams that we talked about earlier. Gresham, on the other hand, has Reynolds, which is at Mount Hood Community College, and then they have Barlow and Sandy both at home. So in terms of an easier schedule, Gresham definitely has a better schedule in that respect. Central Catholic, of those 5 playoff teams that we talked about earlier, Central Catholic is really the team that has the toughest schedule. They played most of the lower division teams early in the season, and now they're coming into the teams, and that can serve 2 purposes. Number one, it can they can have a tough road to hoe down the stretch. The second thing is, it could really prepare them for the playoffs just tremendously. They played a tough Lake Ridge team last week. They got Gresham this week. They come back against the other playoff teams, David Douglas, Columbia, and Barlow. So, they could be extremely well prepared going into the playoffs if they can get through that tough stretch of games. So it'll be really interesting. The other teams, Barlow and David Douglas and Columbia, all have a couple of the top 5 teams to play in their last 4 ball games. So, it's still wide open in terms of who's going to be in the playoffs. But we have to look at Gresham. Really has the best schedule probably at this time going down the stretch run, provided, of course, whatever the outcome tonight might hold in store for Gresham. It could be a good situation for them. But Central really has the toughest road of anybody.
Well, there you see a look at the Gresham High School dance team doing a fine job out there tonight. Once again, our score 8-0, and that was on a run by Matt Jones and a 2-point conversion, and that's where we stand. The Rams on top over the Gophers, 8-0. We'll be back with second half action right after this. And they're down by 8 points, 8-0 our score. The Central Catholic Rams on top. Before the game, we had a chance to talk with Gary Stouts, the coach of the Gresham Gophers. Ray Byers had a chance to talk to him, and we'll go to that right now.
Here now with head coach Gary Stouts of the Gresham Gophers. Coach, a big game tonight against the Central Catholic Rams. How do you assess it?
Well, they're all big games in this league, that's for sure. Central Catholic's an awful good football team. We're going to have to play well to beat them.
How do you plan on stopping that Matt Jones attack?
Well, we just got to play the defenses that have paid off for us up to this point, and just make sure we're tackling him, and we can't do anything special with him.
All right. Central Catholic is going to throw the ball as well, so they're going to try and spread you out all over the field. What have you done in practice this week to prepare for that?
Well, we know they're going to throw the ball. They've thrown the ball a little bit uphill. I mean, it's not foreign to them, so we got to play. That's why we can't just gang up on Matt Jones. We got to play across the line and just play basic defenses against them.
And what kind of attack should we look for you from on the offense tonight?
Well, we're going to try to take what they give us and see what happens. Certainly, you'll see the ball in number 43's hands a little bit.
Okay. Sounds very good. Thanks very much tonight, Coach. Good luck to you. Let's go back to the booth now with Eric and Jim.
Thank you very much, Gary Stouts.